This is Monday Motivation, and I am the real Todd Tyson. The breakfast bite for today is who sent you. The enemy uses familiar faces and familiar places to obtain territory and dominion in our life. So when we don't test the spirit by the spirit, we fail to identify the person who could potentially be used as the Judas who sells us out for 30 pieces of silver. Who sent you? Then Satan entered Judas, surnamed Iscariot, who was numbered among the 12. So he went his way and conferred with the chief priests and captains how he might betray him to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him money. Everybody in our life is either working for God or working for Satan. Ain't no in between. And at any given moment, they can change employers on us without giving us a 2 weeks notice. So we put our own head on the chopping block when we do a life transaction with anybody without seeing if it's the God in them or the Satan in them who is on the clock at that time, which is why I got to know who sent. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruit. Everything that we think, say, or do is a seed, which means it comes with a harvest. Therefore, one of the easiest ways for us to identify who really sent the people who are in our life is based off the fruit that their life is bearing. Because a person will not be able to consistently produce godly good and really be working for Satan, because his incorporation means them nor us any earthly good. So if it's a person who is out here raising Cain, please know that just because they are supposed to be cool with you does not mean that they will not become the Cain who kills your Abel. But he answered and said to the one who told him, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" And he stretched out his hand toward his disciples and said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Truth be told, the most dangerous people in our life is our family members and friends, because not only will we let our guard down around them, but it's really hard for us to see the Judas in them. And Satan knows that and capitalizes on their weak moments by using them to implement his spiritual plan of destruction for our life. So I encourage you to not be afraid to tell anybody to get behind me, Satan, when they are trying to introduce some foolishness or Satan's will for your life into your life. So remember, the enemy uses familiar faces and familiar places to obtain territory and dominion in our life. So when we don't test the spirit by the spirit, we fail to identify the intent and purpose of the person who could potentially become the Judas who sells us out for 30 pieces of silver. And please be aware of spiritual serial killers whose whole aim is to suffocate our purpose and calling, and do it in such a subtle way you don't even know it. I love y'all. Go.